Hello, I'm DeDe, and over the next 30 minutes we'll do an entire yoga practice without any standing at all. You can do this practice on a yoga mat, as I am. You can do it on a bed, on a surface, a nice open surface of a bed, or even on a treatment table, if that works better for you. This type of practice is not only good for building flexibility, but also for relieving stress and tension. And we all have that from time to time. So you'll need a yoga mat, unless you're on one of those other surfaces. You'll need a folded towel and some water for hydration. And you need a little bit of space, so make sure you have that around you. You'll probably want to take off your shoes and socks. And remember to always move at your own mindful pace. So we're coming down now, and I want you to come down to the floor if that's where you're going to be. Otherwise, you're on a bed or elsewhere. Come down any way that works for you. So just get down so you're sitting. And then I encourage you, since we're going to lie down on our back, to have a folded towel under your head, if that's what it takes to have good support for your neck. If you don't need that, just set that aside for now. And then coming down onto our elbows, and then coming all the way down onto our back. And then from there, just for a moment, bring the knees into the chest. Hold on to your legs with your hands and rock from side to side. All right, then we'll take our feet down. We're going to separate the feet. We're going to turn the toes inward, kind of like we're pigeon-toed, and then let the knees lean against one another. So you have to decide how far apart and how far in you turn your toes to be comfortable. Knees are lightly touching together. And then let's place our hands on our low abdomen and then just rest the elbows next to us. Feel free to close your eyes here if you'd like. Otherwise, you can leave them open. So now we're inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Now we have our hands on our low abdomen because that's reminding us to draw the air in during the inhale, nice and low in the lungs, to get the air down lower than we might normally get it when we're inhaling and exhaling. And this deeper breathing is slower and it's more relaxing. So we're sending a different message to our nervous system with this deeper breathing. So send that calming message with your deeper breathing right now. Make sure your shoulders are down away from your ears. And try not to turn your head to look at me while we're doing this. Even if your eyes are open, just look upward. But if you feel comfortable closing your eyes, that might be the most relaxing during this breathing technique. In through the nose, and out through the nose. So it's always a good time to be calm and to feel grounded. Whether you're getting ready to do something active or getting ready to do something like take a nap or go to sleep in the evening, it's always a good time to feel calm and grounded. And that's what this breathing technique helps us with. So now, if they're not already, you can open your eyes. Let's separate the knees and we'll walk the feet in a little bit closer together. Now we'll start to do some hand and finger movements, including the thumbs. You can open and close, you can flex and extend, and you can circle around. You can do it both with your fingers open as well as when you're making a light fist. Now we'll press the palms together and we'll press side to side with our hands. So one hand presses down and then the other hand presses down. All right, let's relax the wrists and hands now. Let's bring one knee into the chest followed by the other. Hold on to the back of your thighs, and then we'll do something similar with our toes and our feet and our ankles. So flexing and extending, circling, squeezing the toes, flaring the toes out. Just make a connection with your feet right now. Let's see if we can continue that deep breathing through the nose. All right, now if you still have the folded towel under your head, let's take one foot down, the other foot down. Take the towel out from behind your head, because the next move we're going to do will help your head be more comfortable without the elevation. So we'll take the hands down to the sides. Let's inhale. And on the exhale, push the hands down, push the feet down, and lift the hips up. Let's come down as we inhale, and we'll do it again. Press down with the hands and feet and exhale and lift. Now as we do this, the feet are even and straight. The feet are in line with the hip joints, so they're not too wide. And our heels are not too close, but not too far away from us either. So find the just right position for your bridge lifts. Now, something I want you to think about, keep your head in the center while you're doing these bridge lifts. If you need to look at me, come down, look at me, and then bring your head back to the center and then carry on with the motion. That's especially important for these bridge lifts, just because of the amount of pressure that we have up on our upper back and our head. Now let's start to add some arms. So as the hips come down, the arms come up with the palms facing in. And as the arms come down, the hips go up. See if your arms can go a little bit further with your elbows bent if needed. Otherwise, elbows are straighter. Do a couple more. Can you feel what's happening in the back of your body, in your hip muscles, in your hamstrings, and your low back muscles too? All right, one more. And then the arms are down and the hips are down. Do this with me now. Straighten out your left leg. Pull your right leg into your chest, hold the back of the leg, exhale and pull the leg in close. Now release the leg. Inhale, straighten the right leg out, and on the exhale, clasp the back of your left thigh and pull in with your arms. Now let's add the arms back in. So inhale, the legs go forward, the arms go up. Exhale, we hold the back of the right leg. And then we'll keep going with this. Again, if you need to look at me and you can't easily see me without turning your head, just stop what you're doing for a moment and watch, and then you can join back in. Feel the stretch down the back of your leg as you pull it in. See if you can allow your bent knee to get a little straighter now. Can it get a little straighter? You'll feel more stretch that way. And just like we did with the bridge lifts, if your arms can go further overhead, let them do that. All right, now we're bending our knees, one foot down, the other foot down on the mat. Once again, separate the feet out wide. And now we'll take the arms out as well, shoulders down away from the ears. Now we inhale, and on the exhale, your knees go to one side and your head turns to the opposite side. And then come back to center and inhale. Go right around to the other side. Now, if you would like to put the towel back underneath your head, feel free to take a moment and do that. You don't want to feel any discomfort in your neck. This is another one of my favorite moves right here. It feels so good, doesn't it? On the hips, on the low back, even the neck. Let's do one more. All right, now you're going to turn toward me, all the way over onto your side. Your head is not touching the towel or the mat or the bed for right now. Stack your knees, stack your hips, stack your shoulders. Now inhale, open up to the center. Now your head touches down. And then exhale, we're going to have our backs to one another now as you turn all the way over onto your other side. And then inhale into the center, open your arms and legs. And then exhale, close. So it's kind of like a book. You're closing a book, but then you're opening to one of the middle pages, and then you're closing it. Long and straight. Whether your head is up or down, the head is long and straight. Exhale as you're on your side, and then inhale to the center. All right, now let's push ourselves up now that we're on this side. Press up with the hands. And then we're going to face sideways to one another. If you need to sit up on your folded towel, you can. So that means the folded towel would be underneath your hips. Separate your feet. Your feet are wide apart, your knees are bent, and you're either on your fists or your hands. See what works better for you. Now inhale, and on the exhale, the knees go to one side and you pull the opposite shoulder back. Feel that twist. Inhale, center. Exhale, over to the other side, pull the opposite shoulder back. And we'll do a couple more like this. Now we're going to turn all the way around. So inhale, and on the exhale, your knees and your torso, we all go the same direction. And then inhale, center. And exhale, turn. Take your hand across. Maybe it's on the floor, maybe it's on your leg, maybe it's on the bed. Inhale. And exhale. And again. Now, how far around behind you can you look? Can you look beyond where you think you can look? And how about staying upright with your torso? Can you stay more upright? So keep your supporting hand in close to you. 4 more. Exhaling as you twist. Two more. All right, now let's face one another. How did that feel? Do you feel a little more limber and relaxed? So now we'll come to a seated position with our legs folded. So I'm sitting up on the front edge of my folded towel. You might want to do that too. I like to talk about what that does. It allows our pelvis, instead of the top of it tilting backward like this, it allows the top of our pelvis to tip a little bit more forward, which translates into a more upright posture. See how that works for you. Fold your legs any way that's comfortable, including having your feet further away, if that allows your knees to drop down a little bit more. All right, and then we'll take the arms out. Inhale. Exhale, one hand down, the other arm goes over. Little side bend. Inhale. And exhale. So we want to create a curve, a lateral or sideways curve in the spine. So in order to do that, we have to keep our opposite hip down. So if you're tipping like this, you're not even really creating a curve in your spine. You see how that's different? So keep your opposite hip anchored. Inhale into the center and exhale over. Hello, Prissy. Did you just come in here to scratch your cheek? You want to do some yoga with us, Prissy? Maybe your pet is doing yoga with you right now as well. Always makes it a little more whimsical, a little more fun. She's doing her downward facing dog. Let's do one more of these. All right, we'll come back to center. So reset your shoulders down, nice upright posture. If you've been sitting with one leg on top or one leg in front, go ahead and just reverse that. See how that feels. Now we'll sweep the arms back. So we'll inhale, your palms face toward me, and then exhale, your arms come forward. And then we'll do that again. Lift your chest up a little bit, and then exhale, let it settle down. So the lifting of the chest, the opening of the arms, together with the inhaling, should help create a nice open front of the body. And let's face it, that's different than the way we normally are, which is a little bit more closed through the front of the body, right? So let's counter that with this. One more. And then for the exhale, the arms just come down. Now we're going to turn sideways to one another once again. And here's where I'd recommend that you put your folded towel underneath your knees. If you're on a bed, you might not need that. If you're on a really cushy surface like a bed. But if you're on the floor, even if you're on a yoga mat, you might want it underneath. So place your knees on the extra padding if you need it. Come up on your fists like this, or down on your flat palms. And then let's tuck the toes under. Now find neutral. And by the way, neutral is the same position that we're in when we're lying flat on our back. So the crown of your head lines up with your tailbone. So then we'll inhale here, and on the exhale, press your shoulders to one side, your hips go opposite. And then inhale, center, and exhale, opposite. Let's go back and forth a few more times. All right, and then we'll come back to the center. Untuck the toes. Now watch the tailbone. It lifts up as we inhale, and then it tucks under as we exhale. So make this happen through your pelvis and your low back. Your shoulders and your neck do not change. Think of it this way. Point your tailbone upward, and then point your tailbone downward. Now, if you're flat on your palms like I am, make sure that you're pressing the base of your index finger and the base of your thumb down. You want to make sure you keep pressing those down. All right, now this time as we exhale, we're going to sit back into your version of child's pose. So here's a pretty easily accessible version. Here's a little bit more challenging version, and here's an even more challenging version. So you find your version. And then stay there for a moment and breathe into the available space, like maybe into your side ribs, maybe into your back ribs. Deep breaths, as deep as you can manage while you're here. Now on your next inhale, let's come back up. Once again, we're on our hands and knees. Fists are fine, palms are great too. Now inhale with your thumb up. As you exhale, reach one arm forward. And then inhale, bring it down. Exhale, the other arm is forward. And we'll keep going with this. Now I want you to think about this. Besides the reaching arm having the thumb up, on the supporting arm, you're pushing the floor away. That is very important to keep you out of that collapsing position through your supporting side. It also leads to stronger and more stable shoulders. You have your abdominal muscles engaged right now. That's helping to hold you in this position properly. Last one. Now both hands come down, shoulders away from ears. Inhale. Now one of your legs reaches out behind you. As you exhale, flex the foot, push out through the heel. And then inhale, come down. Exhale, the other heel pushes out and away. Now you probably can't see your leg, and that's fine, but I want you to feel that you're straightening the knee as much as you can. Exhale, extend, lengthen the leg. Now in this scenario, we're pushing the floor away with both hands and our supporting knee. Now, if you would like to try it, As you extend your leg this time, take your opposite arm, make sure it's your opposite one, and reach it forward with the thumb up. So of course, in this scenario, you're pushing the floor away with your supporting hand and your supporting knee. So the forces in our body are different when we have arm and leg in motion. So your core has to stabilize more, and it makes us a little bit stronger. Pushing the ground away really accelerates that process. Two more. And the last one. All right, everything comes down, and once again you find your version of child's pose. Next movement will be what's called prone or face down. So you're going to want your extra padding to be under your pelvis instead of under your knees. It's okay if you're not using any extra padding as well. So make sure as you prop yourself up on your elbows here that your legs are narrow, your shoulders are away from your ears, and you're lifting your heart. This is the Sphinx Pose. Now think about this. Don't push your chin out in front of you. Draw the chin in instead. And see how much better that feels on your upper back, your thoracic spine area, and your neck. So even though we're just holding still here, there's a lot of strengthening and mobility that's taking place right now. How does this feel for you? Can you feel what's happening in your back? All right, now carefully take one hand next to your chest, the other hand next to your chest, and then push yourself up. Moving our extra padding back again so it's underneath our knees. You can do that however you'd like. And then we'll come to a hands and knees position. This time the fists aren't a good option. It's better to be on your palms. Now I just want you to notice that the hands are forward of the shoulders. So then we inhale and we bring the arm closest to one another up. And then as we exhale, we reach it all the way through. So it's moving away from me, your arm. That's your exhale. And then inhale, sweep that same arm up. And then exhale, put it back down. Let's do the other side. Feel free to watch a couple rounds. If you're unsure what we're doing, make sure you bend your supporting arm as you reach through. This is called thread the needle. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling, join me if you haven't. Exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. One more. And then we will fold up our towel so we can once again have a seat on it if that's your preferred way to sit with your legs folded. Comfortably folded. And then we'll bring the hands forward and we'll bring the torso forward as well. Now here's something to consider. Having your hands behind you might make it easier to come forward. So you do the version that works for you. Maybe one hand in front, one hand in back. Maybe be both hands in front or both hands in back. Where do you feel the stretch? Do you feel it in your legs, in your hips, in your low back? I kind of feel it in all of those places. Maybe you do too. And then we'll come up and we'll reverse our legs. Sitting tall, shoulders back, ears over shoulders. Roll your shoulders up and back and down. So how did that feel? This practice helped us increase our strength, our stability, and our flexibility all at the same time. It also helped us reduce our tension and stress. Can you feel that? You're a little looser now. Thank you for joining me, as always. And until next time, be well.